Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to explain Sonnet 18 by Shakespeare. But before I begin, we should know first what's a sonnet. What is a sonnet? The sonnet is a poem of 14 lines dealing with one personal idea or emotion. The sonnet is a poem of 14 lines dealing with one personal idea or emotion. The Italians were the first to originate the sonnet form. But how did the Italians divide the sonnet form? How did the Italians divide the sonnet form? The Italians divided the sonnet into two parts. The first consisted of 8 lines, octave, and the second of 6 lines, sestet. The Italians divided the sonnet into two parts. The first consisted of 8 lines, octave, and the second of 6 lines, sestet. How did Shakespeare develop the sonnet form? Shakespeare didn't follow the Italian form, but he changed the internal form of the sonnet. He divided the 14 lines into 3 stanzas, each of 4 lines, and a heroic couplet, 2 lines with the same rhyme scheme, and sums up the whole poem. The heroic couplet, 2 lines with the same rhyme scheme, and sums up the whole poem. What is the main idea in Sonnet 18? Shakespeare wanted to say that his beloved would be eternal. He said that his beloved would live forever in his lines as long as men lived and read his poetry. Shakespeare wanted to say that his beloved would be eternal. He said that his beloved would live forever in his lines as long as men lived and read his poetry. Let's begin paraphrasing this sonnet. In the first stanza, Shakespeare says, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease has all too short a date." Here Shakespeare says, or Shakespeare asks, if he can compare his beloved to a summer's day. Then he answers that she is more beautiful and more sweet-tempered. He mentions the negative points in summer, as a summer's day is sometimes so windy, and checks the tiny flowers. The summer is of a short time. In stanza 2 he continues, "Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dim, and every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed." Shakespeare says, the sun in summer is very hot, and sometimes the sky is cloudy. It's a well-known fact that every beautiful thing will stop being beautiful, either by an accident or naturally by time and death. In stanza 3 he says, "But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death break thou wondrous in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest." After mentioning the negative points in summer, the poet says that his beloved's youth and beauty will be everlasting, as he is sure that his beloved will always be beautiful and never be affected by the old age. Even death will fail to put her in its dark shadow. In the last 2 lines, Shakespeare sums up his idea. He says, "So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee." Here Shakespeare says she will live forever in his poetry, which will be always read as long as mankind lives. And this is a summing up of the whole poem. Now let's see the figures of speech that Shakespeare used and the other tools to clarify his idea. Shakespeare used internal music, as he repeated some words as more, more, fair, fair, to give musical effect. Again, Shakespeare used repetition of some words as more, more, fair, fair, to give musical effect. He used metaphor as in the eye of heaven. He likens the sun to a man's eye. He uses a metaphor as in the eye of heaven, as he likens the sun to a man's eye. He uses personification in his gold complexion. The sun is like a man who has complexion. Another personification, as in death brag, he likens death to a man feeling proud. Finally, the rhyme scheme is A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, G G. Thank you.